This is the NCAA women's basketball tournament, UCLA and Uconn. Second half just got started. I haven't watched the first half yet, but tuned in live. And I see that it's not just the men who allow the players to play illegally. It's the women's officials as well. Now here we have a player who is starting her drive toward the basket. The right foot is clearly the pivot foot, because the left one is in the air. And the rule says that she is not allowed to lift that pivot foot. The official here is almost in the way, but you can see that clearly the pivot foot is now lifted. It's up in the air, and the ball is still in her hand. That's a traveling violation. A player may lift the pivot foot to pass or shoot, but not lift the pivot foot to start a dribble. And once that ball goes to the floor, and it comes back up to her hand right there, that's a traveling violation. Well, let's give her the benefit of the doubt here, and let's say her left foot was the pivot foot. It was already up, by the way. And now she's going to gather the ball, and her left foot is her pivot foot. Now, if it were her right foot, she would have already traveled. But this kind of fades out here because they're going to, you can still see it. She's already down here with that extra step because they're doing an interview over on the side. And if you're watching this and you want to replay it, you can. It's the third quarter. I love that quarter thing they're doing at 9:07. But there's the right foot is back to the floor, and here comes the left foot back to the floor. I mean, that is just a run and gun. And I mean, if she'd been going in any other direction other than toward the basket, somebody might have sounded the whistle. But that is just a blatant, obvious traveling violation. And for all three officials to allow that is really, somebody should say that's unacceptable. Watch this. One, jeez. I'm going to watch it again. Had something pop up on my screen here. She lifts the pivot foot, takes off running, and scores 2 points. Now, the odds are UConn's going to win the game, but we cannot allow players to play illegally anytime in the game, regardless of the score or the time on the clock.